Today I fucked up by believing in the 3-day rule in dating.
Is that what someone you don't call someone until 3 days after or some shit like that?
I think so.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this.
I feel like I've seen that in like TV and movies.
Like this feels like something that would be a premise on Friends or something like that.
It's like, tee don't text me till 3 days after.
Yeah. I feel like early 2000s, 90s, this was like a normal sitcom type thing.
Like How I Met Your Mother. I feel there's probably an episode of How I Met Your Mother where Barney maybe does this.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, Barney's not calling people back, I don't think.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
Nope.
He's just doing the never call back.
He's Captain Ghost.
Yeah. All right, let's hop into it and see how this how he fucked up using this rule. Honestly, I don't know why I'm writing this. I guess even if it helps a single romantic somewhere in the world, it will be worth it. I went on a date with a girl I matched on a dating app. As an average-looking guy, I don't get many matches, and the ones I usually get end up ghosting or unmatching me for no reason.
I can't ever go back in the dating world. God damn. This would be me.
He says men will know that feeling, but I also feel like women also get this as well. So I feel it shouldn't be a gender thing. People on dating apps know this feeling because it happens to everyone.
It's hard out here.
Anyway, this girl was different than the rest. We matched, talked for hours, and decided to go on a date the very next day. A surprise, but a welcome one. The next day comes and we meet and share a bottle of wine. A few awkward moments in the beginning, but that's understandable for a first date. Overall, it was a pleasant date, and I thought she shared the same sentiment. We parted ways, and my fuck-up commences. I like her enough to send a message in the next few hours, but decide to consult some of my friends and sleep on it first. Everyone gave different advice, and I decided to follow the 3-day rule in dating, thinking that giving her too much attention too soon would scare her off. For those who don't know the 3-day rule, it's waiting at least 3 days to text or call a girl after the first date. So you nailed it, John. I wound up caving in and messaging her a day later. Told her that I planned for our 4th date. We talked about an upcoming 2nd and 3rd date half jokingly. She seemed very offended about me not texting her for a full day after our date. I tried to explain I was swamped at work and only had a very short window of opportunity to text and waited until I'm fully available to talk. I apologized twice and expressed my willingness to go on another date. She sent me a few cold messages and then finally unmatched me.
Damn.
We could have been good together, but I decided to follow a stupid rule and not my heart. Because of that, I maybe missed on a beautiful chance at love. Who knows? Everyone is different and they have different feelings and opinions about dating, but I've learned that I should follow my heart from now on, and I suggest every hopeless romantic out there do the same thing.
It's hard out there. I don't know. I'm so thankful Nancy and I found each other before dating apps.
Same way, brother.
Just because it seems like, I feel, ironically, did dating apps make it more difficult to date?
I've listened to a lot of podcasts about this because it's a fascinating concept, like the gamification of the dating app sphere. I listen to a lot of like UX design podcasts and stuff like that, and this is a big thing. It's like they gamify it so much that it's addicting to get off of it, and so even if you find someone, people still find themselves swiping, and it's like, well, why are you doing that? It's like, well, because it's like, oh, it triggers something in your brain where it's like,
Pokemon.
oh, yeah, it's Pokemon. You got to catch them all, right?
I guess.
And so like, it's easy to find people, but it's hard to get out of the loop of finding people. I guess that's kind of the best way I could describe it, the psychology behind it. But
yeah,
anyway, so a lot of people just find it easier to be like, oh, I found one thing wrong with this person. I'll find someone else.
Yeah.
Mr. Right is out there.
Because like part of me is like, before dating apps, I definitely, after the date, me and Nancy were texting after our first date, like immediately. But yeah. I feel like it's not that crazy to have been like, I went to sleep right after our date and then I went to work and now I'm talking to you. I feel like that's not like a super disrespectful thing, right? Is it? Again, I haven't dated in so long, but I feel like that doesn't sound like the craziest thing.
I think in this day and age, because it's like we all know everyone has their phone on them at all times, and so it's like
There ain't no way that you could just ignore somebody
So
like
even
that.
even not even being like, hey, I had fun tonight, going to bed or whatever like that. Like even that is like something you can definitely do in the time frame between your date and going to bed, with your phone on you at all times, which is the issue with having constant communication with.
But then there are
with
some
everyone.
people that, even though they have their phone on them at all times, they're not like on at
Should
all
respond
time.
right
You know
away.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's,
Right.
I just,
I agree
again,
with you.
I haven't dated. I feel like one day seems fine. Like, especially after the workday, I don't know. Again, me and Nancy have been together a long time. So it's just like, but then again, you're right. Even back then, it's not like I waited a long time as soon as the date was done, I was like, I had a great time.
That's what I'm saying too, man. Like it's so hard to relate to, these types of rules, these dating rules. I don't know. I guess I've always kind of worn my heart in my sleeve. So if someone was like interested in me or like the time when Juliet was interested in me, I wanted to let my intentions know, like, hey, I'm the same way. I'm not going to wait a couple days. I'm not going to wait 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I wanted my intentions to be directed off the bat. It's just like, hey, I want this to keep going. And if there's a way, or if there's a time frame where she's like, oh, well, I'm kind of not vibing with you anymore, that'll just kind of just save me time instead of stringing people along. And also, I think also like I wouldn't survive in this, I guess, day and age of dating. I can't talk to multiple people. Like that's just so difficult. It's so much energy you have to do. I don't know. I've always been kind of like a one person type of guy. So if I'm talking to one person, I'm talking to one person. So it's just hard for me to relate people swiping, trying to find the right person. I'm like, okay, well, I got to see where things go here. So
yeah,
I don't know.
No, that's fair. That's I think that's a healthy way to look at it, and it's probably how we should go back to. But with how much money, with how much money those motherfuckers are making at Tinder and Bumble and all that shit,
for real,
it's not going back.